Let's head to Parliament now. Winston Peters has revealed that foreign ownership is playing a part in his coalition negotiations with Labour and National as the shape of the talks begins to emerge. The New Zealand First Leader and his team met with both National and Labour again today at Parliament, with Labour and the Greens also holding separate talks this morning. But leaders of all the parties involved are remaining pretty tight-lipped about any details of what's been discussed. Here's our political reporter, May Heron.
The meeting room for the talks is in an unassuming, windowless room on the second floor of the Beehive. It's neutral territory for all parties and out of reach for the media. First up this morning, National headed into talks with New Zealand First. After just over 2 hours, the two parties emerged. New Zealand First leader Winston Peters told reporters the meeting was great, like every meeting has been so far.
These talks are about a change in the way this country's run, both economically and socially. That's what I mean by that.
So without wanting to breach the confidentiality of the talks, are you asking both parties to maybe adopt the policies that you think will best make that change, best support New Zealand?
Well, how can I possibly answer that question?
Well, there's foreign ownership.
Given that these are confidential conversations and discussions.
There's foreign ownership a large part of these talks, and in terms of the IO and shaking them up.
Well, I don't think there's anybody in the press gallery that would not think foreign ownership is not part of these talks.
While National and New Zealand First were ensconced in their meeting, Labour was holding its second round of talks with the Greens. As he emerged from Labour's offices in Parliament House, Greens leader James Shaw told media that the talks were warm and constructive.
We're talking about all sorts of things.
Including policy concessions?
We're talking about what it takes to form a government.
Ministerial roles, deputy prime
everything
minister?
that involves putting together a government. So it's broad-ranging, covers all the bases, and it's going very well.
Not long after that meeting, Labour's leader Jacinda Ardern led her negotiating team into the Beehive room for their meetings with New Zealand First. It was the same team as yesterday, apart from the addition of the senior Labour MP David Parker, the party's spokesperson on water and the environment. The meeting between the two parties went for half an hour longer than National's meeting, and Miss Ardern made a brief statement to the media when they emerged.
All right. How did those talks go?
I'd say that was another really positive session again today with New Zealand First. That builds on the positive and really constructive session yesterday. We now are in a position where we're discussing quite a bit of policy detail, which moves us further along in these negotiations. Labour, of course, working at the same time with the Green Party in negotiations. That will continue tomorrow as well. We're using the time in between to make sure that we're prepared for each period of negotiation as it comes. But in conclusion, positive, and we continue to move forward.
As he returned to his Bowen House office for a break between talks, Winston Peters told media that the talks are completely focused on policy. He was quizzed on whether the addition of David Parker to Labour's team meant they were discussing environmental policy and water taxes.
You know that this is strictly confidential and that I can't possibly tell you.
Well, you know that I ask questions.
Yeah, I know, but you know that you're asking questions in an environment where I can't possibly answer. Are you trying to make me embarrassed or what?
No, not at all. It'd be the last thing I want to do.
Thank you very much.
How would you compare these negotiations? You've been now in this position twice.
Well, this is the third time.
Yeah, you've been in twice before.
Oh, okay,
so,
sorry.
yeah.
It's before you missed out. The reality is they're dissimilar in some ways because of circumstances. More like 1996 and 2005, but we don't know, we've got a few days to go yet before we'll know the outcome.
New Zealand First is now in its second meeting with National's negotiating team, although it made a change to its own team, subbing out Tracy Martin and including Shane Jones for the first time. New Zealand First will meet Labour tomorrow morning as the talks continue, with Winston Peters still adamant he will have his decision made by Thursday. From Parliament for Checkpoint, May Heron.